the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week. And welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Business Story of the Week. I am your host, Joshua. And today's question is it's soul based. Have you ever wondered how understanding your soul can transform your business? Now we've had a lot of business topic related on here, and I think this one would be the first that truly touches up on the soul. But what is it really, and what how does it involve our business? Where our guest today is the perfect guest to answer that question, Jennifer Urezzio, also known as Jen, JU, the dynamic force and founder behind Soul Language. This one of a kind approach melds deep spiritual insight with practical business acumen. It's going to be an interesting episode because through her innovative framework, she empowers individuals, organizations to facilitate direct meet. Jennifer Urezzio, also know, sorry about that. I will edit that part out. My my browser glitched a little bit. Okay. Through her innovative framework, she empowers individuals and organizations to facilitate direct connections with their soul's essence, transforming personal growth and business strategies. Jennifer also leads a vibrant community of soul language facilitators, extending these impactful practices worldwide. She has two best selling books and a podcast titled Asked and Answered by Soul. Wow, that's a great name. Ranks in the top 3% of podcasts worldwide with a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. She is also a TEDx speaker. And today, Jennifer JU, she's going to be joining us on today's episode, sharing her insights and her experience and her wisdom. Jen, thank you so much for being on the show. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here. And first of all, I love your name. First of all, I love the Laurie part because
Mm.
it's the name of one of my favorite characters in one of
Oh,
my
really?
favorite books, Little
Oh,
Women.
wow.
So
Oh,
thank you so much for
fantastic.
being here. I'm so excited.
Oh, fantastic. Jen, may I just say real quick, I also love that story. And you are the first one to acknowledge that I have the same name as that character. I know,
Oh
right?
my
It's
God.
crazy.
Oh my God. Like what? Like, come on. They've made like 8 movies of it. It's been around
Exactly.
for like 100 years. No, and it's
Exactly.
such a good character.
Yeah.
And it's such a profound story in so many
Hmm.
ways, especially
It
for
is.
its time, because
It is.
it showed several different aspects of women
Hmm.
and what was available
Hmm.
to them and what they could
Absolutely.
accomplish. So,
Hmm.
really fun.
Absolutely. I love how you said that for its time. Definitely for its time is way ahead of its time. And I'm glad that I was associated with one of the great characters there. But Jen, you are quite the character yourself, of course. There's a story behind creating this soul language and what got you here up to this point. Once again, soul language blends spiritual insight with business strategies. But Jen, where did this all begin? Right? What is the story of Jennifer Urezzio? What is your origin story? Did you always know that you were intimately connected with your soul?
Well, I personally, at this moment, think now that we're siblings from other parents, but still connected because I use
Mm.
origin story all the time. Because
Oh wow.
I'm a big superhero kind of geek, sci-fi
Oh,
geek. So
of
I love
course.
that.
Yes.
My origin story is kind of, well, it's not as exciting as Batman's story, but so I was in marketing and PR,
Hmm.
and I knew
Hmm.
that there was something bigger. So I started
Wow.
studying with master intuitives, and I got on the phone with this internationally known coach, and I was really counseling her on her relationship with her daughter.
Wow.
And we were on the phone for 2 hours, and I got off. And my best friend who owned the company, I went, She goes, "Did you?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah. And that's going to end really badly. I'm really
Oh
sorry."
no. Oh no.
And she fired us a month later and said, I didn't understand her business. I did. I saw beyond the
Of
curtain
course. Of
and
course.
she couldn't take it. So that
Oh.
propelled me to kind of step out on my own. And it also
Hmm.
propelled me to ask some really big questions like, okay, I know why I'm here. I'm really angry. Where are my people? Like, how do I find who my persons are? And
Hmm.
why do I
Hmm.
like this person and not that person? And I was on a massage table covered in mud. And I was asking those big questions, and I heard through
Okay.
divine guidance. Some
Hmm.
people call that downloading.
Okay.
That's soul language. And I went, I don't know what that is, but
Mm.
oh my God, ma'am, that's covering in me mud. Can you get me, please, a pen so I can start writing things down? And
Wow.
before long, yeah, and before long, I had a paradigm that puts tangibility to soul and
Okay.
describes the three core energies of soul: your mission, how
Oh,
you fuel that
interesting.
mission, and then your soulful personality.
Wow.
And I was identifying personal souls and then business souls. Yeah, your business has an
Oh,
energy. And people kept
okay.
saying the same thing. Oh my God, are you in my head? Oh
Oh,
my
wow.
God, like
Uh-huh.
you just put to words what I know deep down inside, and now I get to accept it and utilize it consciously rather than, fighting against it. And that was in 2008. So,
Wow.
yeah, we have about 30 practitioners now and over 6,000 people utilizing soul language in their everyday
Wow.
world.
That is fantastic. What a way to put it together. I love, of course, that
Thank
you
you.
said that you download this at a very inspirational time.
Yeah,
And you just went straight into it and it worked. It resonated with a lot of people because, of course, it does. Right? Of course,
right.
it will, right? It's something that we all have. It's a common thread among all of us. And now I understand that there's a certain framework to this, a soul language framework. Um, what is that framework and how does it help individuals and businesses achieve greater clarity and greater success?
Yeah. So we each have three languages of soul: your
Hmm.
mission, how you fuel that mission, and your soulful personality.
Yes.
Your business has its own, right? And
Yes.
so when you understand your three soul languages, you understand what you're putting into everything in this world, whether
Interesting.
it's goodness or pain and programming.
Hmm.
Most of us who have our business tend to put pain and programming into our business. We tend to think our way through
Wow.
our business,
Of
and
course.
that doesn't really allow for sustainability or for growth or
Mm.
for success,
Mm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
I can have a conversation with my business. For example, I was sitting down with my business energy today and I was like, okay, so I've got this big event coming up. I've got about five more spots. What do I do? And what I heard from the business energy was like, hey, it's July
Mm.
and the rates are supposed to go up in July for
Mm.
this event. Have you contacted all those people that were on the fence? And I went, oh no, no, because I'm
Oh.
like rushing through it. Like I didn't, it didn't even occur to me. And so
Oh.
I'm like, okay, like let's sit down and write a letter. And I think
Okay.
people hear this inspiration and this guidance all the time, they're just not creating a conscious connection. So they're
Of
hearing it
course.
through fear and programming, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I could have heard that, like, oh my God, it's July and,
Mm.
we have this missed opportunity. How could I could have beaten myself up instead of going, oh, wait, look, right? And so I think
Right.
so
Right.
often people are like, especially highly intuitive, highly innovative leaders
Right.
spend a lot of time doing a lot of things that don't
Right.
sustain themselves or the business. When you talk to your soul
Yes. Yes.
and the soul of the business, it's going to go, no, 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 go left. Even if you
Mm.
can't rationally understand why you go left, but when you go left,
Yes.
you're like, oh my God, there's an opportunity. So it really
Hmm.
allows for sustainable success rather than success through what you think you should be doing.
I see. I see. And that is very, that's quite a profound way of looking at it because, of course, again, different energies. But I love how you said that we all, well, oftentimes we really do come from fear. We come from
Yeah.
programming. We think that these things are, already just part of who we are. And I always like that. I'm recalled by one of my mentors who taught me that every trauma that we experience, it takes a part of our soul away and that includes our programming, our trauma, and
Yeah.
part of our soul goes away. Now we have to do soul retrieval. We have to take it back, and I love that this. That's why this whole framework resonates with me, because we have to be able to speak to that, have that language, speak to our soul, speak to who we are, and that framework really puts it in a very clear, simple. I love how you explained it. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's tangible, right? Because you need
yes.
tangible tools. And
Hmm.
I would say that your soul doesn't go away. I would say that
Mm,
that energy of
yes.
that part is being utilized to keep
Mm,
that trauma at bay.
right. Okay.
And
Okay.
when we release that, we can
Interesting.
utilize that energy more sustainably.
I love
Nobody
it.
has any more power than anyone else on this planet. There's no difference between me and the Dalai Lama, but he uses his power so good,
Mm,
right? Where
mm,
I'm like, I misfire a lot. So
mm,
it's
mm.
really about how do you want to conduct business consciously. And I think in business, we
Right.
make a lot of things the source for us, meaning, oh
Right.
my God, I need this new client, or I'm not going to be safe, or I'm not going to be able to pay
Oof.
the light bill, right?
Hmm.
That's a lot of
Hmm.
pressure instead of saying, this is just a resource. And if it's not this resource, another one will come along.
Hmm.
And that will
Hmm.
prevent people from taking on clients
Hmm.
or signing deals that really are not in their best interest.
Of course. Of course. I love that. I love how you can, it's not just about putting up a business, right? It's not just being a business owner, an entrepreneur. How conscious are you? How conscious are you of your actions,
Right.
how in your intentions, and how you're running your business? What are your values? Do they align? I think all of that really is important. That is often overlooked, and it's I love it because, of course, that is the type of audiences and listeners that we have on this show, and of course, again, going back, because literally the second name of the episode is story, or the show is stories, right? And I would love to know, what are some of the most profound transformations that you witness in clients who've embraced their soul language. I love that, it just, you offer them a framework. It applies to personal and applies to business as well. So I'm really really interested in, you say there's more than 30 facilitators now, and everyone is like, just practicing with the framework that you've had. I really would love to know a story. Tell us a story of some profound transformations that you've seen in business and personal.
Yeah, here's one of them that happened lately. I was
Wow.
working with this woman who did not have the words for what she was offering individuals. Normally, what people do is they describe their delivery systems and not the arc of transformation. Where are
Mm.
people when they come in and where are they when they go? That's the arc of transformation. And when we identified one of her soul languages, she realized that it's called matriarch patriarch, which is all
Yes,
about a leader of a community.
of
And
course.
she
Okay.
realized that she hadn't been leading her community anywhere. And when
Mm.
she started to really step up as a leader, the clients started showing up because they were looking for a leader. They were ready
Wow.
for a leader.
Yes, yes.
One of my early practitioners, when we identified her business, which was a mentor energy, and her personal
Oh.
soul is an observer, she
Oh.
said to me, I've been treating my business like it's observer energy by observing things and telling people
Mm.
things instead of my clients want to be mentored by my observations, not just told about them.
Wow. Interesting.
And when
Interesting.
right, and when she did that, she shifted a whole bunch of things, including, becoming an educational facilitator at
Wow.
her temple, which
Wow.
led to all of these other openings that
Mm.
weren't possible because she just kept talking at people instead of
Interesting.
engaging them in the
Wow.
business.
Wow. I
So
love
those
that.
are a couple stories that are just pop off my head.
Okay, that's interesting. Could you tell us a little bit more about that observer energy, mentor energy? Are there a lot more type of energies that maybe would benefit our audience and listeners today, that they probably would resonate with this type of energy, because it's so crucial. The way you just told that story right now, just knowing what kind of energy you have already goes a long way. It already
Yeah.
is going to allow you to shift the way you're thinking and the way you're running your business. So, talk to us a little bit about the types of energies, and maybe we are that type of energy as a business owner.
Yeah. So there's 107 core energies across the
Wow.
three different categories,
Mhm.
but there's certain language or energies that kind of fall into a property. So one
Right.
of the properties that I really deal with are warrior energy.
Ooh.
Warriors, right? Unconsciously are loyal to a fault. They're the strongest person in the room. They are afraid to ever leave a person down.
Mhm.
They feel like they have to make war to get what they want. That's all
Wow.
unconscious or struggle. When
Mhm.
you're conscious in that energy, you become an unstoppable freight train of goodness because
Wow.
you put all of your strength and all of your courage into
Yes.
consciousness versus pain and programming. And
Wow.
so when I say warrior energy, people go, oh my God, that's totally me if they're a warrior. And it can be a strong energy leak in a business because if you're at conflict or making war with your business, you're
Mm.
actually putting conflict into it and it's going to implode. Right. And
Wow.
so I always ask people, to start with the first question, which is simply if if I knew I was whole and complete, what would I say and what would I do here?
Wow.
And that allows that warrior to go, I'm not responsible for anyone.
Mhm.
Everyone's responsible for themselves,
Right.
right? What conscious action do I want to take? Right.
Right.
And so that's kind of one of the core energy properties. There's another core energy
Oh,
property called
please.
maker
Wow.
energy.
Oh, please.
Makers
Mhm.
Maker energy has to start from a place of consciousness. There's image makers and fire maker and lawmaker and peacemaker. They're all soul languages. But
Mhm.
where
Mhm.
I can just create based on will or determination or
Mhm.
goodness,
Mhm.
maker energy actually has to start from a level of consciousness or it's harder to create, it's harder to manifest.
Right.
So if someone who has peacemaker energy keeps trying to manifest by
Mhm.
declaring, it's not going to go
Mhm.
anywhere, right? They have to
Mm.
start from a place of, will this give me peace? Am I putting
Mhm.
peace into the business? And then things happen instantaneously.
Wow.
So there are a couple of general properties for you.
Wow. Okay, I love both of those. It's so important. I love it. I love it because, like you said, people hear that and then they go like, I'm one of those," and that resonated with me. Warrior definitely resonated with me. I mean, difficulty of saying no. Basically, you don't want to let people down, right? Especially in
Right.
your business. But there's a conflict in there because their employee employer, who do you put first, the client, and you're sacrificing too much of yourself, not wanting to disappoint both parties, right? You want the
Mm,
best for both parties. I love that you just put that in a simplified framework, in a simplified kind of core energy description, because that way I could be like, oh, consciousness coming from consciousness, not from pain and programming, and
right.
putting that energy, because that resonated with me. And like, I put everything, I put all my energy. I mean, I'm putting all my energy into this right now, Jen.
Right.
It's like, it's what I do. I love what I do, but sometimes, got to take a step back and see
Right.
where am I putting that energy in. Jen, it's quite the profound insight that being shared right now on this episode, and to our audience and listeners as well. I understand that you've built a vibrant community around this already, a vibrant community of soul language facilitators. You know, how do you support? First off, how did you build this community? And how were you able to support and expand the global network, all over the world? And what impact has it had so far? What impacts have you seen?
Well, I always set the intention that when somebody wanted to be a practitioner
Hmm.
slash facilitator, they would ask. I believe it's a
Right.
calling, right?
Wow.
And it's usually people who've had their soul languages done and can really
Hmm.
feel the
Hmm.
impact that this will have on their clients, their communities, and their business.
Hmm.
So it's had a huge impact because it allows us to spread the word in utilizing soul language
Interesting.
through different types of communities because all of us are similar but very different, and we all
Yes.
have specialties. So, for example, Jennifer Bloom does soul language and money. That's a
Okay.
special area. I don't do that. Like, she can identify the soul
Okay.
languages between you and money and that relationship, where other practitioners do other specialties. So it really allows us to reach different people,
Wow.
different core energies to support their wholeness and completeness. I
I love
think the
that.
impact, thank you. I think the impact is that just like everyone else on this planet, we are spreading the knowledge that you're whole and complete and you have all the wisdom inside of you. So that's the goal. And I think
Mhm.
more and more people who are introduced to actually talking to their soul, to let go of their energy leaks in their business, to bring more
I love that.
consciousness into their business,
I
will
love that.
ultimately impact the planet because it's, the butterfly effect times
Mm.
10.
Times 10, absolutely,
Yeah.
because you're allowing people to get more in touch with their soul language, their core energy, and it's all different. Like you said, you mentioned Jennifer Bloom, if I'm not mistaken. She's
Yes,
of course
exactly.
she of course has her different type of energy. She has her different way of going about things. It's not just one person. It's not just one soul. We are all different souls. We are all different. You know, all different energies bringing into what type of business and mission that we have in this world, in this globe, and just kind of putting that together and finding people who share the same language, share the same vocabulary. I think really truly will have this exponential effect out there. You part of your personal insights and the everything that you've shared so far, you emphasize understanding one's soul mission and natural gifts. Um, First off, I want to dive deep a little bit on the soul mission, right? Like, how
Mhm.
is it? How do we find out our soul mission, and how is it? How will that soul language allow us to explore our natural gifts? And again, how does understanding both personally impacted your life and your career?
Yeah, so there is a category of the
Mhm.
three energies called
Wow! Wow!
axiom of quest, which is a formal way of saying your
Wow!
mission or purpose.
Wow!
Most people have this all wrong. When I go, okay,
Mhm.
what's your sacred purpose? They go, my sacred purpose here is to embody women. I'm like, no, no, no.
Mhm.
Your mission, your purpose is first for yourself
Right,
and
of
then
course,
for others.
of
So
course.
my mission language is called equalizer. So it's all about creating that perfect formula of balance, first
Mhm.
for myself and then for others. Now, I
Mhm.
have that, and my soulful personality is called graceful warrior, action, movement, courage, and grace. They're
Action.
kind of in competition for each other, right?
Mhm.
So I can do more in 15 minutes than most people can do all day long. And I remember sitting at my desk when I first started my business
Okay.
crying.
Oh.
And I remember hearing that equalizer inside me go, you're not balanced. You're not creating any
Mm,
balance in your
mhm,
life.
mhm,
This is going
mhm.
to lead to trouble. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
And that was a huge
Wow.
aha, because here is my mission is
Wow.
to create balance for myself,
Wow.
really to find that perfect formula of manifestation.
Yes. Yes.
And I was running over it. I wasn't even paused or being with it. So when people understand
Mm,
that energy, they have a profound sense of knowing of really what their purpose is, and then we can talk about how we offer that to others
very
versus
cool.
let's talk about the delivery system. So I was meeting with a client yesterday and she's like, I'm starting a new thing. It's energy
Mm,
work and blah, blah, blah. She went on and I was like, yeah, I don't care. And she's like, what? I was like, no client's going to care that you're starting energy work. You've been doing
okay.
it all the time. You're talking about the delivery
Wow.
system.
Of
Let's
course.
talk about what you offer them, the transformation.
Of
And she's
course.
like, oh. And so
Mhm,
often we're talking about the thing rather
mhm.
than that energetic exchange and how we're offering those individuals
Yes.
to
Yes.
transform their life. Even with a gadget, like look at
Right.
Apple. Apple products transformed our lives, right?
Mhm,
They
mhm.
brought ease, they brought hipness, they
Yep.
brought fun, they brought
Yep.
music. I mean,
Hmm.
that is huge. Yeah,
Hmm.
we still talk about all the gadgets, but what they're really selling is a lifestyle. They're not selling the gadget,
Yes, of
right?
course.
That's why we buy
Of
the
course.
Apple.
Hmm.
So that's what people have to understand. And when they know their soul languages and they know their business soul languages,
Wow.
that allows a lot more ease and grace there because they don't have to figure it out
Hmm.
and they don't have to keep doing their life by jury, which means I ask you a question and then I go over here and I ask them and then I go over there and I ask them. And by the time I'm done, I'm totally confused about what I should be doing and saying because I
Of course.
haven't been listening to myself.
Right, of course, and that's man, that's a common mistake. Everyone does that,
Yeah.
and we overlook that so much. And because I mean, no one talks about soul in business. No one's saying there's soul. Your business has a soul. I think most people would believe we have soul, but people wouldn't be like, my business has a soul. But of course, it makes sense because it's an
It does.
energy that you put in there, and it truly needs to be understood so you can align and have a profound impact, a transformative, experience, and really not just changing your business, but also changing your life and the world around
Yeah.
you. Jennifer, I truly, truly resonate with the message that you've shared today. And I
Thank you.
absolutely love it, and it truly is it truly is transformative. That word right there, we can keep using it over and over again, but I believe in it, and I believe our audience and listeners feel the same. Jen, I would love to give this opportunity to you. Where can we learn more about soul language? If we'd love to be educated, where are you most active in? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Instagram? Where can we connect with you?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn the
Hmm.
most.
Hmm.
Facebook, I have a private group called Spiritual Renegades.
Wow.
Everyone's welcome to join. You'll
Hmm.
find over 600 people there operating from Soul, which
Wow.
is a really groovy place. And I do a
Wow.
lot of inspiration and a lot of exercises there. So that's good. And of course,
Mhm.
I do have a website called soullanguage.us. And
Wow.
anyone can scroll down and get a discovery session where I deem one of your soul languages as my gift.
Wow.
So
That's
you
it.
can see if this resonates with you.
Mhm, mhm. That's exactly what people are looking for. We need
Yeah.
to identify what it is that is vibrating from the inside, our internal soul. We need to know what that is. We need to know that energy. So, to all our audience listeners out there, of course, check that out. Make sure to find that out. And there's no better place to find that with, and be guided by Jennifer herself. Jen, it's been great. We'd love
Thank
to
you.
keep in touch with you. You are on LinkedIn, of course, on Instagram as well. We'd love to stay in touch. One last bit of wisdom, Jen. Like anything else that you would love to leave us behind, take us home.
Yeah, I'm if you're going to create a business, you have to put wholeness and completeness in there.
Wow.
You can't operate from pain or programming.
Yeah,
And for those who've created or welcomed in a business, you did it for a reason, right? And so
right.
know that everything you need to succeed is already within that business. You
I
just have
love
to
that.
access it.
I love that. You just have to
Thank you.
access. It's always inside you. It's always just a matter of acknowledging it and then operating from love, from
Yeah,
consciousness, really, right? And I love that. Jen, thank you so much for being on the show. I love all this message. I wish we could have dived deeper a little bit more, but I feel like we covered a lot, and
a
it's
lot.
quite insightful and it's quite
Thank you.
truly profound. Jen, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
Oh,
such an honor and such a great way to spend my morning. So thank you so
oh,
much.
oh, that's lovely. Jen, thank you so much. And to all our audience and listeners out there, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this resonated with you, not just personally, but for your business as well. We will see you on the next one.
All right, so here's the thing, we try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.